Uh, so exploring form. So for people who have not seen the last presentation, uh, I had shown how children actually explore the world in terms of form, function, structure, which is the attributes of the world. What you see is the form, there is function, there is process, there is structure, materials. So you will find a very similar kind of exploration even in the case of drawing. So exploring form is one of that. Exploring function is another one. So you can see that, you see these, see the way the child is trying to explore how the wiper moves. So the children are also exploring the movement. That is what one is trying to talk about. And exploring process, of course, I think it is still there. I'm looking for the proof. Now, time and motion is another very important thing. Children actually want to try and understand uh, the time and also motion. So they see this is like a movement of vehicles. It's the same vehicle that is going around, and this also represents movement. You can see the movement that is established in this drawing. You know, so there is a because the child is drawing movement, so you can actually feel that in the drawing. And another very important thing that we must understand is that if you ask a child to draw a moving fan, they would not have any problem drawing it. Unlike that I mean, we won't dare to do it because I don't think we will have this notion that our first notion is that we can't draw it, a moving fan. But a child wouldn't have that kind of notion. So then, of course, this is scenery. So here they're trying to organize in a much bigger way. The whole space is organized. So story making, it's so interesting that these few children were drawing a tiger, and they were having fun. And when they saw me, they immediately draw me here. So it was so spontaneously this was happening. So, and after a point, they decided that the tiger has eaten me, and so I'm inside of the stomach now. So what I'm trying to say is that this flexibility is continuously existing in children. See, once we had seen a drawing of a tree with a mango tree, and there was a squirrel and there was a child down, and there were just 2 mangoes on the tree. So one of our friends asked the child that what is this, and he was telling that there are 4 mangoes. So the friend asked, and there are the mangoes. He's telling that this child here, he ate 1, and that squirrel there, he ate 1. So in a child's mind, the 4 mangoes are there. There are 4 mangoes, which is eaten by 2 people. So what I'm again trying to stress here is that if you look at the drawing and conclude this is what drawing is, you are into trouble, because there is something that has already taken place which is in the mind of the child. So see, we are only judging what they have drawn, about the skill, and those things are actually not a matter of concern at all for the child. They are actually in process. So I'm showing you some bad examples. This should, I mean, of course, most people are practicing these bad examples today. They will ask children to, first of all, they ask children to draw art. They give them colors, and of course they give them these kind of guides. They give them drawings to fill in. All these are actually killing the natural ability of the child to really, and the urge of the child to understand the world. Actually, the curiosity lies precisely in making sense of the world, not to develop skills. No, so this is where the fundamental problem is there, that we keep on complaining that there's no curiosity left, because you have killed the curiosity of the real curiosity, which is to understand the world. And you deviate them from the real world, and you now tell them that now you become curious in this. And I think the biggest damage that we are doing is by making children dependent on your encouragement. Children actually doesn't need any kind of encouragement, because there is total, because it's a need of life. It is not the need of a child. It's not your ego's need. It is life's need to make the child understand what the world is all about. Curiosity is not an extra thing. It's already fitted into your system. Like ability to learn is fitted, curiosity is part and parcel of that thing. But when you deviate the child from the real world and push them into doing things that are unnatural, naturally curiosity will die, naturally boredom will emerge. You see, in rural tribal areas, there is no boredom at all. Just not for the younger children. Nobody there gets bored. You can see people waiting for 2-3 hours for a bus, but not an iota of boredom in them. Because, see, that boredom is a psychological damage that is inflicted in the modern context. Of course, they are now celebrating it, thinking that boredom is a good thing, This is what the modern people have a problem with, Whatever they think is because everything is development for them. So, I will share few experiments we have done in other schools with older children, trying to get them to see again. Like, for example, when we work with 7th, 8th, 9th standard students, and this is also very interesting that I had worked with rural children of 7th, 8th, 9th. Even their children never say that they don't know how to draw. They would just start drawing. But this is not the case in urban scenario. Urban scenario, 90% of children would claim that they don't know how to draw. This is the first response. Only very few people who are certified by adults as artists, they draw. The rest of them stop drawing completely. So here we were making them draw somebody, so they look at someone and start drawing. So observation drawing was, one important thing that we tried to, bring it back. You can see the similarity of Zoe and the drawings. Again, observation drawing. So in this case, this is very interesting. I asked this child to draw this, and he was finding it a little difficult. So I made a simple form like this, and see what he has drawn with that, That's very interesting. That's such a complicated shape. I think he was in, 7th standard or something like that. He was around 12 or 13, that age that he drew this. And then, upsetting their habit, putting upside, the chair is put upside down. Because normally if you ask a slightly older person to draw a chair, they will draw the idea of the chair. So that is why it's important to break their habits of perception. So I'm just taking back, something from history, because, about when, 1500, around that time, there was no separation between artist and scientist. Drawing was something that was part and parcel of people who were observing life, and Leonardo was someone who was fantastically combined these, both these abilities. And all his drawings were, you can see the observation, imagination, all that is something that he had explored. And there were many people around that time who had got into, these kind of drawings. So I will show you some very interesting examples how children break rules. One day I saw this drawing. So look at the form which the child made use of very well. In this case, it's a combination of 3D and 2D. He drew this as a 2-dimension, and then he added weight in a 3D form. And this again, with clay, they made a line drawing actually. And of course, you can see the way the child has combined different things there, This was another very interesting kind of breaking rules. They combined 3D and 2D once again. And I'll show you one more fantastic drawing. So I want to pause here and just show you how easily the child is changing the hands. So I'll just, repeat that particular part once again. Look at the way the child so spontaneously change from right hand to left hand. Right? Yeah. Now, please take a guess as to what this drawing was. Can anybody make a wild guess what this drawing was?
Roof. Roof of something?
Is it a shell?
No.
Roof of a hut.
No, it's a spider web.
Oh.
Oh.
So